Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of PSTV. It's your commission, your co-commish. Say what's up.
What up, what up, what up?
And we're back for another episode here. Not a big trade waiver week, so it's probably going to be a short episode, guys. And you know, we've got a lot of drama. It's a tight race for the playoffs, so we'll kind of focus on that anyways. Teams 2 through 9 are just 2 games apart. So
Wild.
Anybody's ball game to hit this playoffs. So that said, there's some teams with a better chance than others. So Cool Kid, can you hit us with number 1 on the power rankings this week?
Yeah, number 1. His team record 7-1. It's Chili Bowl, bro. Like, his team's been unstoppable. It's been good. It's been consistent. I mean, none said there. His team's been pretty good, and I mean, honestly, he's on a 3-win streak. He's probably gonna go to 4.
And yeah, no, I'm scared. We'll get into the matchup later, but I mean, spoiler alert, it me. So yeah, I agree though. Great team. He's always winning. And he's already beaten a lot of the best teams. I mean, speaking of, our number 2 Bad Wolf comes in after another L. So consecutive L's. He had a decent showing. It wasn't like he didn't come and score or come through and score.
Yeah.
But we're starting to see some of these explosive lineups really delivered. I mean, CMC had a big week last week in the help auto draft. So, we could move him down, but I think the Bills stack is really advantageous. He still got cooked. I think he's still making a march to the playoffs, and I don't see it slowing down. But we do have a surprise at number 3, somebody who's really been on a tear. Who do we got at 3?
Yeah, Travis. Travis ended up actually winning last week against Little Trub. Went up to 5-3. He's also on a 3-win streak. Was not expecting it. Actually was rooting for Little Trub in that matchup, but I mean, monstrous performance by
Those
Travis.
trades. Yep.
God, those trades definitely helped them out this week.
For sure. Those Eagles, man, I mean, and I don't see why they wouldn't have a badass week this week either against Houston. So that could be a problem.
Man, not just Eagles, any Bird team.
Yeah.
Any Bird player, sorry.
Send him his way.
Send him his way.
I mean, Ingram's not a bird on a Bird team like Evan, but he looks like a bird, so maybe he'll take him too. He's got that beak. Someone who does not look like a bird but do have a beak is a dolphin, and we got Niche Like Fish at 4. And he's hovering around here. The team is solid. He puts up a lot of points. I mean, he lost on a freaking DJ Moore Hail Mary last second. There's that's a bad beat. You really can't do anything different about it. I think he's got a good team with a solid floor, and I think those Dolphins are going to keep him afloat the rest of the playoff race. Who do we got coming at 5?
Team Auto Draft Fugly ended up obviously the winner of the matchup between him and Bad Wolf. Like, it's a good team. Derrick Henry, Getty season. It's snowing in Vermont.
For sure. I mean, somebody who's got a little Yeti in him too is fucking Kamara, dude. He went off last week, so
Kamara went fucking off.
I was very
super
fortunate.
Kamario.
For just so you guys know, I was fortunate in this league, but I did get my ass beat by Kamara in the other league that I'm in. so I mean, I was happy. I was mad sad, or I was happy sad. I don't know, but I mentioned Kamara because if you guys have an idea, I'm going to be the number 6th ranked team in the power rankings. I did sneak that win out over Nish. My running backs are really starting to percolate right now, and if I just get enough production out of my second and third wide receivers, I think I'm going to be competitive here. So that's the round out for the top 6. And when we take a step back and kind of look at the playoff picture, do you think these six profile as the six that are going to be in the playoffs?
I don't think so.
Okay. Who do you
I do. Oh, go ahead.
so to lead the question is in it, whether or not it's you think these teams are going to fall out, or if you just think these other teams are going to find a way to get in, who are those like interesting teams to you?
The interesting teams to me right now, in terms of getting in, right? You have your initial six. The interesting teams to me are Little Chubb.
Mhm.
I think Jones and Eckler are taking off. Adams and Evans. Evans is taking off as well. Adams is didn't do too hot, but I don't expect those shitty type of weeks at all. If he made some sort of a run at potentially maybe securing a more stable QB, Little Chubb is definitely a team to watch out for. Making it in. Obviously, right now, obviously your team's 4-4. Nish is also 4-4. The rest of the teams are 3-5. Again, it's anyone's. It's
Yeah.
anyone's. Like just one upset is enough to get you in. I think. I think it kind of comes. Go has the chance to actually knock himself in because he plays me this week. Let's say he wins, and let's say you win. He faces you in a matchup where he could potentially knock you out, and you're gonna
Yep.
be out Stevenson. So after that, I would like it's I like Little Chubs. I like Goats teams to potentially make it in there.
That's
Yeah.
exactly the same too that I'm like I got my eyes circled
Yeah.
on like there's a path they can get in. Um
Mm-hmm.
Something about Little Chubb and his schedule is that he basically controls his own fate, right? Because he's got I know this week he's got Bad Wolf, and Bad Wolf is tough, man. It's going to be a hard win, so he might take that
Mm-hmm.
L. But after that, week 10, he gets auto drafting, who's got a few buys on week 10, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a team that is in front of him if he wants to get in. That is an example of somebody he'd have to try to take out. And then week
Yeah.
11, he's got Nish week 11, so that's two teams that are in front of him for a playoff spot that potentially he could be. He could be those
Week
two.
11. Week 11. Dolphins are on bye.
So there you go. There's an opportunity here.
Shit.
Chubb and
Yeah.
Goat have a chance here. Like you said with me, Goat beats me, and Goat is tough too because I really want to beat him because I have his pick, and I'm sure
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
really wants to beat me because I have his pick. So like
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna probably go a little extra hard. Maybe I'll look for a trade that helps me just that week too. Um, but yeah, no, I agree. Those are exactly the two teams I'm interested in, and not every team, like you're saying, that is in the top of these rankings has gotten through their buys. That's one thing that's interesting about
Yeah.
Bad Wolf, because he already had Pierce go through the buy. Um, the Vikings went through the buy already too, huh?
Yeah. They already went to the bye.
Yep.
Yeah.
Vikings went through the buy. The Bills went through the buy, so that he's got Cook, Pierce, Diggs, Allen are already past their buy. Probably more guys. That's just off the top of my head. So like
Yeah.
him, I don't expect to be an easy out the rest of the season too, with
No.
that
No.
with
I
that
agree.
with that solid floor. So, I mean, if you let's take a look at his schedule, right? Because I mean, at this point, he might be the fantasy reaper. So like the playoff reaper. So like if you think you've got a playoff
Yeah.
hope and you play him, you might as well count an L there because he's got a lot of guys back. Let me see.
Well,
We're,
luckily for everybody else's teams, he faces Josh's team in week 10. He faces your team
tough.
week
That's fucking
11,
tough for
and I
me.
think you have some buys. You have a lot. You have three important players that are going to be on bye that week. So it's going to be tough shit. It might even be tough sledding for your team, really, if we're talking about
Here, see, look at this. Look at this.
teams being
Bad
knocked
Wolf.
out. Go ahead.
Bad Wolf plays Chubb this week. He's a playoff contender. Me, Go, you, Travis. He plays 5 playoff
He's a
contenders.
fucking
He's all roads go through Bad Wolf for those couple playoff spots. So it's going to be tough. We're going to have to all try to take a game off of him to get in, and that's going to be
and
hard.
that's a hard one.
That's a fucking hard one to take out. So that's interesting. That is very interesting. I am not looking forward to figuring out how to replace my week 11 player. Oh my god. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna personally tackle that when we get there. I can't worry about that today.
Kick the can down the road.
Yep. So he's interesting. I know Joey, I mean Joey Chili. Chili's team, I don't think he's gotten through all his buys yet. Let's see, he's got Sanders has gotten through his bye. Jefferson's gotten through his bye.
Yeah. Mixon really would be week 10.
Mixon's going to be week 10. Olave's tough because Olave, I mean, you can't move the guy, but he's got a playoff bye. Week 14 is in the playoffs, so he's not going to have him for the playoffs. Lazard hasn't had his bye, so yeah. No, he's got some buys he has to get through. So these two teams are really interesting for who they play the rest of the season because, like I said, you take a game off these guys who you're not expecting to get a game off of, and that boosts your playoff odds way higher to be able to sneak one off of these guys. So let's see, who does Chili play the rest of the season? So he's got me this week, of course. He's got Nish next week, which is he has a couple of those buys, and Nish is a playoff contender. He's got Travis 11 playoff contender. He's got Chubb 12 playoff contender, and he's got Josh, and he's got
who
for the playoffs. That's one of those where Joey, he counts an extra win. He's effectively 8-1 right now. And then he's got you the last week of the season. So if you're
we know how he's scared of that one.
If you're how do I say this? If you're one game away and that's your last play-in game, that's tough too. So we'll see. We'll kind of keep an eye on those matchups in particular. Those are going to be interesting. Speaking of matchups, let's get into these pick'ems. So we've got GOAT, we've got you going head to head here. And you know who I'm rooting for because I need that pig juice. But you guys have a tough week. You got a lot of injuries between the two of you that you're working through. His are working injuries because those guys are still going to try to play, and yours are just gone. So this is a tough matchup. This might be a low scoring affair, but it's going to be close either way. Who do you think is going to come out with the W on this one?
I've analyzed this matchup
for hours.
It's like for hours. It's going to be a close one. You see these projections, right? And they show 54-46, but you can't always rely on those projections.
Yep.
DeAndre Swift did not practice. Jonathan Taylor is not practicing.
Not practice. Yep.
Let's say DeAndre Jackson. I mean, he's the only backup right now. I have DeAndre. Jonathan Taylor does not play. That's
going to be crazy.
That's going to be crazy. And if DeAndre Swift let's say he does play, but he's limited, I also have Jamal Williams. So, yes, leans a little bit. I mean, I have to play Williams regardless.
Did you say DeAndre Swift or Jonnu Smith? I know what you ended up meaning.
DeAndre Swift. Okay. Oh, sorry.
That's great. I don't know. Now I don't know because now I'm seeing how if you say one, it could sound like the other one, like Jonnu Smith, DeAndre Swift, like it's like they're close enough.
DeAndre Swift.
Okay, that was a trip. I was like, what does Jonnu have to do with Jamal? But you're right.
He's a missing link.
If he's missing both of those guys, one that was already going to be bad, but that's going to be terrible because you have the replacements who are going to get the full workload.
The level workload there. So it's a close one. I'm still gonna lead and go because it's still a lot of unknowns. I'm rolling with him actually playing his guys. St. Brown is only gonna be even more of a beast with Hawkinson out. Murray's gonna feed Hopkins, but obviously he's taking those points. And it really comes down to what happens with all of the leftovers, and if those injuries really affect John Tiller and DeAndre Swift. So I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I would love to be a playoff contender, but I don't think this is my year. And would I love a potential Bijan pick? see if Jay Molly actually makes a comeback. But I'm gonna play my team and see what happens.
Yeah.
And
Yep. So you can do.
it like I said, it like there's a lot of unknowns. Obviously, Gabe Davis could go fucking off and just
Yeah.
completely nullify all of that.
Or did what he did last week and put up like what, 2?
Yeah,
I don't even
and
remember.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Knox, same thing. I don't know if
That's
Parham's
the
even
Bills.
playing. Yeah, yeah.
That's it's funny you
Oh
say
yeah, yeah.
you
Knox,
kind of
yeah,
key in both of those,
yeah,
Davis and Knox, because Allen distributes and you never know who's going to get the touchdowns. So
yeah,
you're totally right. It could be a blow up 80-yard Davis pass, or Knox could get 2 red zone touchdowns just because you don't fucking know with Allen. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, you kind of the targets you have an idea, but those touchdowns they're going to come. They could go fucking anywhere.
yeah.
Keep
But going back to
keep
it,
them.
I am
Yeah.
going. I'm going to go. His team is. I mean, it's not doing well this week, but he has the difference. He has the higher ceiling that I could make up. That could make up for his lower floor.
You fucked my mind up because I didn't even piece together that you have Jackson. I figured you have Williams, and I think Williams outscores Swift regardless of if Swift plays or not.
Yeah,
But adding the Jackson kind of fucks with me because you have Gus, and if Gus doesn't play, then that's tough too.
yeah.
But
Just put in. Yeah.
I'm gonna stay with Goat. But if those running backs don't play, dude, that completely shifts that matchup. Okay, I need to get off of that one, or else I'm gonna fucking think about that for too long.
Fucking doing math in
Nish,
your head.
Nish, yeah, I've
Nish,
got the
yeah.
what is it, the hangover calculus going on. Nish and Otto. I was very excited when I saw this matchup, like at a glance, and then like I went in to see like the drill down of who was going to be able to play or not, and Otto has to like roll out. Who does he have out there right now? He has Dotson and Claypool on the new team. Allen Robinson. Isaiah Spiller is killing me that he has to
Dude,
play
yeah,
Isaiah
what I
Spiller.
don't know what's going on there. Yeah.
But he does though, because I mean, like I'm scrolling through, and who else can he play? Like, I mean, this would have been a good spot for Melvin Ingram, who's hurt, and he's probably not going to play. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, you kind of do have to play freaking Isaiah Spiller and just hope he doesn't get you 0. So I'm gonna go with Nish on that one for sure. So,
Yeah, you kind of have to.
yeah,
Like, Otto's team is full of unknowns. He has to play Dodson, who hasn't played a single game. That's assuming he's not out. And then obviously with Heineke, I mean, he's kind of distributing the ball, but that team isn't doing much. Claypool with Chicago, that is an interesting one. But I mean, I'm assuming Claypool's ceiling is the same as what Mooney could potentially be getting, and it's like what 8, 9 points or something.
I mean, yeah, I don't think so though. Like, how often do these players get traded, and then like the very first week they play, they like have a good week? I I
No,
think
they're still learning the rule book for one and two. They're not. He's not gonna get more than like 50% of the snaps on that team. I don't see it, at least right now. Like there's no way.
I think he gets the snaps. I think we'll see if we'll talk about this later about like fantasy philosophy. But like one of the big things everybody talks about is like snap percentage and then routes run per snap.
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
how many times are you out there and actually running a route versus like just run blocking or whatever else you do. It's
yeah.
just the two. But he's going to be out there, so those stats are going to look nice because who else are they going to fucking run out there? Velus Jones. But
Yeah.
how do you trust him besides maybe throwing like a deep jump ball? which he could come down with. He's one of those freak athletes. He could not come down with it.
Which is why they want him, I feel, right?
Yeah.
Because he's a big, lengthy guy. That's what they've been missing on the team.
I don't know why I thought the other word you were gonna say was like big, lengthy, girthy, and I was like, it's
Girthy,
getting in a
chill.
gets
Gonna have to add NSFW to the bottom of the link.
Might as well. YouTube's gonna take it down anyways. Might as
Yeah,
well
no, but right.
money.
Yeah, but shit, put it on Pornhub. It'll they won't take it down, I don't think.
Somebody will beat it to this.
But no, I mean it's kind of, dude. I know. This guy Nish's team.
I just made my own clay pool.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's an obvious one. Nish takes this one. Really, Otto's team is really relying on Mahomes and Henry just to go fucking off, which
could
is possible. Yeah, Tennessee's wide receiver or Tennessee's like secondary isn't stopping anyone. Henry, Casey's D isn't that great, I don't think, and Henry has been going off. He does have a questionable tag. I don't know what's going on there, but he's also hoping that Allen Robinson takes the wide receiver 1 snaps if Cooper is just going to be a decoy this week.
Yep.
But
okay. So easy. We're both on the same page there.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be another easy one. Jay Moley and Travis. Travis is on fire. Jay Moley is struggling.
Opposite of fire, cold.
Yeah, he is ice cold right now. He is, what is it? He's Blades of Glory, and Travis is fucking Balls of Fury. So I don't even need to really get into details on this one. I think Travis doesn't have any significant buys. All his starters are out there. Dial it up. That's a W.
But it's interesting. Josh can be a ball buster. It's weird with Dynasty, right? Like sometimes like redraft, you just want to be like that team that's like, fuck that shit. I'm gonna be a reaper myself, even though like I'm not making it to the playoffs. But like in Dynasty, you don't want to do that. Like you're not incentivized to. But Josh has a team that could potentially, like you got Joey B that, I mean, I other than last week has been QB1 the last 2 weeks before that. And then T. Higgins, the all wide receiver 1 of a fucking badass team. Like that stack itself is just as good, can be just as good as like a Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen stack, really. Yeah. And then Zach Ertz is a great tight end. He's been getting there's Hopkins and Rondell Moore, but Ertz has been getting just as many. He's been a solid tight end. So obviously, Travis has a better floor, better ceiling, but
you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
That's why we play the game. Yeah.
Which Josh is. I mean, honestly, he can be a ball buster and still be in contention for Bijan. Really, like
I'm more scared of him starting like on the top of my head. I want to say like week 12. Like that last 12, 13, 14 stretch, like that area right there, I would be worried about him because shit, maybe even 11 too. Right now, Najee's on the bye, and Dobbins is hurt coming back. But when he has Najee against like Cincinnati, Indy, Atlanta, hell, even Baltimore gives up a lot of runs. So like that stretch for Najee, he could put up a lot of points and upset somebody. Plus, if Dobbins comes back, Baltimore has a top, like, color at any stat you look at. They're like top 6, 7 in every stat offensively, and DVOA, yards, touchdowns. Like they're up there. So like Dobbins is gonna have touchdown opportunities, and we saw it before. He could fucking have a multi-touchdown game and spoil some weeks. So I think at the end of the day, I can see Josh being a spoiler. This week I don't see it without those two guys.
No.
Bad Wolf and Lil Chubb. Lil Chubb is fighting for his life, and he has a fucking hell of a matchup this week to try to stay alive.
He's going through the fucking ringer. He's one of the first teams playing Batty on his Reaper tour.
Yeah.
And luckily, luckily he's got Eckler back, right? He was missing
Yep.
him last week.
Yep. You
Evans
figure
and
Jones goes
Adams.
off because Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I figured Jones goes off because of Detroit. I figure Eckler goes off because Arizona really doesn't have a stout D against running backs. I honestly, and it says 50-50 here. I think Chubb takes this matchup. I think Adams, the Seahawks defense, I don't think they're that scary really. Like it's saying that they're a tougher defense against wide receivers. I don't see it. And Devontae Adams is just a beast. Mike Evans against Cleveland. Like, yeah, Cleveland stopped the Joe Burrow train, but I don't think they're stopping Evans, really. I think Estival has a good chance at going over his projections. I am worried about what's it called? I am like
Quarterback.
about that quarterback position. That's really concerning, but I still think he has a good chance of winning this matchup.
I mean, I think he does. And he's just missing a couple of really key guys. He's missing Debo. Maybe he gets him if he has him back, he would have a better
Mm,
shot. Zeke's missing. I see a
yeah,
lot of ways like that this could have split his way. Not that it still couldn't, because like you
yeah,
said,
yeah,
a lot of these guys have the potential to blow up. I am worried
yeah,
about Evans against Jalen Ramsey and what that could mean for him. But besides
yeah,
that,
yeah,
he's got good matchups. The whole rest of all those other
yeah.
players have good matchups. And
One thing, other thing, again, a knock against Bad Wolf right now is that Cooper Cup,
health.
again, like I mentioned them during the Allen Robinson, whoever had them, his health isn't there. Keenan Allen,
Same thing.
I'm sure I saw something where he's
Not practicing.
where yeah, he's not practicing. He was there during morning workouts. I don't know what that means, right?
Nothing.
Um,
Yeah.
and then Raheem Mostert, he's the wide receiver, or he's the running back one, right, for the team. But after these trades, we really haven't talked. Actually, we really haven't mentioned the trades that happened. Yeah, they're not too significant, but actually, they really do affect Little Chubb and Bad Wolf. Just
Okay.
because
Why do you think so?
Raheem Mostert, Miami, they brought in Jeff Wilson. Clearly, what's his name? The head coach
Chase
who was the
Edmonds,
offensive coordinator.
Mike
No,
McDaniels.
yeah, Mike McDaniels, who was the head, he was the offensive coordinator for the 49ers, I think,
Hmm.
and basically ended up becoming the head coach at Miami. Obviously, bringing in these running backs, he knows Raheem Mostert's health. He knows Raheem Mostert cannot. I mean, he's injury prone. I mean, all these running backs are injury prone, right?
Yeah.
From San Francisco. So I think he's bringing in, I mean, the guy that he knows, Jeff Wilson, to make sure that Raheem Mostert doesn't get so many carries. Like this is purposely so Raheem Mostert doesn't get not be cut like he's vindictive of him, but it's
Interesting.
like to prevent, I mean, injuries happening. Raheem Mostert has been that guy. This offense has been on fire, especially with Tua in there. But I see Jeff Wilson taking over some of Mostert's carries, and if I remember, I might be wrong. No, never mind. And then obviously Devin Singletary with Buffalo, he got Naeem Hines, which obviously is going to take some of those potential care. Well, honestly, I don't think it affects Devin Singletary
I
too much.
I'm on the opposite side of this, so I want
The
to hear you
opposite side,
finish, and then
yeah.
I'll say what I think.
And in terms of Singletary, I feel like Singletary has never been a pass catching back,
Yep.
right? And like that's never been his role. He's a running back. I don't I see it playing out where Hines takes the third down work when it comes to if you're further away from the like if anything Naeem Hines might just take away from potentially just Stephon Diggs or like Gabe Davis or like short yardage kind of work, and then they really like Hines, but I don't see him taking away from Devin Singletary's like running back opportunities and goal line opportunities if they are there, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Okay.
that's my personal opinion with that trade.
So the reason why I didn't think those were interesting trades, which is because with Jeff Wilson, I was thinking they're just taking him for like insurance, just Raheem
Yeah.
Mostert gets hurt. So I was thinking they were going to do Mostert, keep running him like the RB1. When he inevitably gets hurt, we'll just put Wilson in. And then when Mostert comes back, but, I was kind of thinking it was going to be like that, but I think it's interesting that you proposed that maybe they want to do like a bigger time split so that Mostert doesn't get hurt. Because you're right. I mean, we have to think about these things as an NFL team would and not as a fantasy football manager would.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you're right. They probably want to reduce the load on Mostert. So you actually changed my mind on that trade. You're probably right. They probably are trying to take carries away from Mostert so that they have him healthy for the whole playoffs because he's too explosive
yeah.
to
I mean, shit, they're a playoff contending team. I believe that in actual
and,
football, they are a playoff contending team, and they
and they put
want
their
these
money.
two backs healthy. Yeah.
Yep. They put their money where their mouth is. They went out and got him. They went out and got Bradley Chubb. So you know what? You flipped me on that one. I'm on the
Yeah.
I'm still on the way opposite side of you with the Bills though.
Yeah, it was
because
yeah.
You're right. Historically, Devin Singletary has not really been involved in the pass game. Last year, I saw this stat somewhere. Maybe it was, shout out footballers, or maybe it was Fantasy Pros, but somebody was saying, spitting back up what he did at the end of the year last year, which he had like I think it was 4 catches in his like last 4 games.
Yeah.
But he had 5 touchdowns in the last 4 games. So at the end of the season, he was one of those like guys who helped you win your league. And that was all on just ball carrying, like regular running back stuff. However, this year, his only good games have all come when he was involved in the pass game because he's not getting touchdowns right now. And I don't know that he's going to. I mean, we talked about it earlier. We said with Buffalo, the touchdowns are going to come. It's just random who's going to get them.
Yeah.
So you would think his touchdown count regresses in favor of himself because he's had, I think, zero this season.
Yeah,
but
0.
Are you going to play him the right weeks that he gets touchdown or not? That's tough. And then 2, so like the week 3, he had 19 points and he had 9 catches. He had 11 targets. Week 4, he had 5 targets, 4 catches. He had just under 10 points. This last week, week 8, he had week 6, he had 12, almost 13. He had 5 targets, 4 catches. So in weeks that he had 4 targets or 5 targets or more, which was 4 catches or more, he crossed basically double digits. Every other week, this dude's fucking 7, 5, 8, 3. Like that floor is so low because they don't run, and 2, when they do run, they mix all the other guys in. Even fucking James Cook is getting carries now. So like Nyheim Hines is for sure getting these passing downs, but they're gonna run sometimes on those passing downs. And it's just bad that he's not on the field because he's been getting a lot of snaps. 3 of the last 4 games, he's been at 75% of the snaps or higher. So if you have Nyheim Hines out there, how often are you pulling him back off the field to put Singletary in? I'm worried about Singletary. So I wouldn't be enthused. Don't get me wrong, I'm not excited about Hines. I don't think Hines is going to get one. He's not going to go to the moon because Singletary's probably not going to get hurt, so he's really never going to become a starter. But I don't know. I'm not thrilled about Singletary, so I'd be worried.
Yeah.
But that said, it's not my team. Hines is, and Hines is not helping me this week against the beast of all beasts, Chili Bowl, who I do think I have an outside chance to beat because some of his matchups are a little bit tougher. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's got a couple of gimmies like Sanders against Houston and I mean, who on Washington's going to stop Justin Jefferson? But also, I think I've got a lot of good matchups too, and you know, Lazard, Connor, um, Gibson, Cooper. These are kind of guys who like normally would be staples. This week they're either out or maybe hurt. So you wonder
Yeah.
about it. So if we fuck around and slip up, I might be able to take one off of him. That would be huge for me. I am worried about Metcalf because of the injury. I know he came back fast, but what if he doesn't play? And then Fields. I mean, Fields and Lamar. I'm gonna have a. This is gonna be like down to the wire because I don't know who I want to play. Lamar
Yeah, no,
gets.
I was gonna say I think it could also come down to who you play between those QBs. Honestly, they could just both go off and it would just be
Yeah,
trivial, which I mean would be great. I'm sure Fields has been what a top 10 QB these last shit, maybe
bro.
even top 5.
It's crazy because like I thought I was taking crazy pills. I figured he was good and I thought he was good, but the way that the Bears looked at the beginning of the year, I was like, I'm gonna have to fucking cut this guy.
Trash, yeah, no.
And then oh, what is the name of their head coach right now? I know it and I forgot it. Matt Eberflus.
Stefanski, I think.
Um,
Oh, no.
so Eberflus has been designing run plays for Justin Fields now, and now they're hitting on all cylinders. So I hope he keeps that up. That's great for fantasy. We know that. So he just got Claypool. So now he's throwing to Claypool and to Darnell Mooney, whereas Lamar is throwing to Devin Duvernay and Isaiah Likely.
I mean,
And
yeah.
that's tough, man. I don't know how I can like and Devin Duvernay, mind you, against Marshawn Lattimore. So it's really he's throwing to Isaiah Likely, ignore Devin Duvernay, Demarcus Robinson.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a lot to think about. I hope Andrews comes back, but if not, I don't know. I might roll with my boy Fields, but I'm gonna just put some goodwill into the universe, and I am gonna pick me. I think I'm gonna sneak this upset off. Who do you got?
Yeah. I was gonna pick you,
But now that we're looking
but
at it,
yeah, now that we're really looking at it, like I I was against Sanders, right? But that Houston matchup,
they
you saw
give
what
up.
they did again. You saw what Henry what he did. Obviously, I don't expect him to pull a Henry week, but they can't really stop the run. Justin Jefferson has a really nice matchup. Obviously, I'm a little biased because of Kirk, so I'm hoping like they just go off against Washington. They're a much better team than the Colts, and Colts just put up 2 touchdowns, and I mean what they're doing with the Vikings, they're doing good. They're getting points on the board. Alan Lazard, if he's healthy, man, Lazard has been going off and hot. Like,
Yeah.
I can see a week where Mixon and Kamara both go off. I can see Sanders evening out with ETN. Really, it could potentially just come down to y'all's tight ends and the flex. And if Connor is if Connor isn't healthy, who's his backup, right? Like that's like maybe McCall. Like if Connor is not healthy, that's where I do see a potential for you just to take that one. I don't think he has any. Is it Gibson? Oh, he
Hey,
has Gibson.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gibson played like I think 36% of the snaps last week. So like,
Hmm.
who knows? Ron Rivera doesn't know. Ron Rivera's gonna wake up that day and be like, "Smells like a Gibson
Is it
day." Yeah,
is it a Robinson day?
it's pretty much like what does he smell? He smells like last year's leftovers or smell of bullet wounds. Who do I want today?
Gunpowder.
Gunpowder. So yeah. Okay.
I mean,
No, no.
it's
I
gonna
get
be
it.
a close one. It really is. Like it's closer than these stats show. And yeah, you could get that potential upset and get into one of his lost columns.
Gosh, man, that would be big for me.
It's a good place to be in, I will say. Like you get a plaque and everything. for a Team
Oh,
SB
okay.
day.
I get a or get a premium.
It's like kind of like the
Dude,
Heisman,
in my back,
except
bro.
like you just have to be yeah. It's like
All right. No, I think that's fuck it. I think I'm okay with that. If I go down swinging, at least it's the number one. That's it for this week, guys. So, be sure to, as my esteemed co-commissioner always says, like, subscribe, drop some comments in there. If you guys want to make some trades, we'll talk about them next week. Otherwise, commish, any parting words there?
yeah, just I guess talked about the trade deadline. It's gonna be
Yes.
last day, like a last day right before playoffs, which is week 14. So again, going off the trades, make sure y'all get
Yes.
those out there. League is
Okay.
super close, so it's anyone's game, other than Josh.
Other than Josh. Sorry, Josh. Okay. You can cry into your Bijan. All right, guys. Well, in that case, we'll catch you guys next week. We're out. Peace.
Peace.